All righty, it's 3 o'clock. We'll get going with wide receiver coach Mick Yokitis. Scott Wyckoff, you lead us off.
Hey, Coach, what's it been like working with Luke over this spring practices now that he's got a full season under his belt at wide receiver?
Yeah, it's been great working with Luke. He's taking some really good steps in the right direction. He's learning how to play wide receiver. He was a quarterback, so it was taking some time, and I really like where he's at right now.
Have you ever had two receivers like Luke and Nathan that have such speed?
It's a good question. Jameer Tillman was here. He was really good receiver, and there were some good kids beside him, but I don't know if they had that top end speed like these two have.
What's that like working in Coach Cronick's offense, trying to use that speed to your advantage in addition to what they have to do in the blocking game and things of that sort?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun for everybody, for myself included. I know the players love coming to practice. The first thing you do as a player, you look at the script of what's all going in, and in some years it'd be a lot of run plays. And now in Coach Cronick's offense, every day we're installing new pass plays and different things for the guys to learn. So the guys are sitting on the edge of their seat every day looking for what's new and what's coming in.
What did you see in Luke that you thought would make him be able to transition to receiver?
So the first thing you always look at is, are they willing to move? And that's a big deal. Are kids willing to move? And when I say that, sometimes you tell them they're going to move, and other times they're willing to do it, and they're like, hey, yeah, heck yeah, I want to do what's best for the team. And that was Luke. And those are the kids that I love that want to do anything they can to help the team. And that's what Hutch wanted to do. That's what Luke wanted to do. So it made it really easy. He jumped in, like I say, you don't put your toes in the swimming pool, you jump in, and that's what he's done from day one. It's taken some time, but the kid comes to work every day. He grinds his butt off. He tries to work harder than anybody, which to me, that's the key, becoming a great player.
And what's it like being a position coach, being able to have your guys benefit from another position like they benefit from Blake now at quarterback?
Repeat that. I'm sorry.
What's it like for your guys to be able to benefit from what Blake does at a different position so you guys can take your position to another level?
Yeah, obviously Blake's pretty special. He's a heck of a football player. He makes everybody around him better because he pushes them, which is a great thing. And it's been really good for our room to, like I tell my guys, we have to have a super close relationship with Blake. You can't just go to practice and what we do. You got to go down on the weekends and get your timing to where he trusts you. Because in the game of football, the most important thing, does the quarterback trust you? Do your coaches trust you? And so right now we're earning a lot of trust with Blake, I believe, this spring. So I think it's going to benefit us here moving forward.
Thanks.
Yep.
Wags.
Hey, Mick, good to see you.
Hey, what's up, Bill?
Not much. How do you increase the overall production for the wide receiver unit? We talked to Coach Cronick about this at the beginning of spring. 10 receptions for 222 yards. I think we all know that Nathan can probably produce more than that. And then Hutch had 4 receptions for 28 yards, and that's it out of the wide receiver group last season. How do you increase that production? I think everybody in the program believes it could be more than that from the split ends.
Now, it absolutely has to be, Bill. That's something we've been talking about a lot. And I just said the word. It's getting the quarterback to trust us. It's getting Coach Cronick to trust us because he's the one that calls plays. And you can tag X to a lot of the plays that we tag Z when we're getting the ball to Eli. Now, I get it. Eli's a heck of a football player. And we're going to get Eli the ball. He's going to get his touches. But we got to get to the point by the end of spring, really by the end of fall camp, that where Coach Cronick, instead of tagging Z to stuff and, hey, let's get the ball to Eli, let's say let's get it to these X's. And I think we're making big strides this spring to give Coach Cronick more confidence in us, to give Blake Horvath more confidence in us, and that's the goal moving forward.
We're talking to Hutch about, refining his skills as a wide receiver. Obviously, he moved to the position, as we mentioned. And, are you seeing him taking great strides this spring in terms of doing that? Is he look a lot more comfortable? Is he more natural, coming in and out of breaks, the running routes, the whole nine?
He is. The key to anything is improving a little bit at a time, a little bit each day. And I think that's what he's done this spring. He just continues to get a little bit better. To his credit, he works his butt off. He wants to be great. So therefore we can coach him really hard, and he takes hard coaching, which to me that's the best players do. They're able to be coached hard and pushed hard, and I'm seeing really really good improvements. He's still got a way to go, which he knows, but he's a whole lot better. He's a whole lot more confident. And I think that's the key for him. The first year he was out there, he was always athletic and could do it. Just getting the confidence to make sure he knew really what he was doing, to fully understand everything. And I think that's the key from the spring is he understands what we're trying to do now.
So what's the plan to get Nathan Kent ramped up after he finishes off with track and field, which, with his ability is probably going to be late.
Yeah.
But how do you get him, to catch up by the fact he misses spring is tough.
Yeah, Nathan was in my office yesterday. He's such a great kid. He's an all-American kid, young man. But he does a lot, and that's why he came to Naval Academy, because he wanted to do a lot. So it's tough, and he knows he's going to be behind. Not only does he do the track stuff, he's interested in special warfare, so he's doing some of that stuff as well. So that's going to put him even more behind the rest of the guys. But if you know Nathan Kent, and I know Nathan Kent, he's going to find a way. The kid. I don't know if I've been around one my entire career here, and I've been around some hard workers and tough kids. That kid's special. I mean, to just go, and not stop. I always ask him every time he comes, like, Nathan, have you rested? You got to rest a little bit. He's like, Coach, I'm good. So, but he'll find a way. He'll be behind, which is okay, but he'll find a way.
So in talking to Hutch, apparently you're a little bit thin at receiver this spring because some guys are hurt. I'm looking at the roster and I'm seeing, let me see, Justin Bonsu, Josh Guerin, Noah Bull, Casey Smith, Drew Turner, I think Kendall Evans. I mean, who exactly is available? He mentioned Casey Smith, but he said Guerin was hurt and someone else, I think. Who exactly is out there this spring?
Yeah, it's been one of those springs where unfortunately we've had quite a few guys out, and the good thing is that it's been for short periods of time. At one point we had about 3 guys going, which was crazy. We're getting a few guys back. Josh Guerin just got back, which is great. Kendall is going to do some stuff today, which he really needs to get out there and get going. But like Hutch said, the biggest surprise of spring, which there always is Casey Smith. He's done a really good job for us. He's climbed the depth chart. He started pretty low, and right now he's behind Hutch on the depth chart. To his credit, he's worked his butt off. He took the things we told him he needed to do over the offseason and got himself ready to go for spring ball. We still have 5 more practices left, but I'm really, really happy where he's at. But it's been some days you go out there and you say, boys, all right, that's all we got. We got to go. And they've done a great, to their credit, the guys that have been healthy and available, they've stepped up and they've taken all these extra reps and haven't said anything. I know they're hurting. I know they're tired, but we appreciate that. But that's the Naval Academy. We got tough kids.
So Casey is a graduate of St. Mary's High School, like your wife.
No, my wife didn't go to St. Mary's.
She didn't?
No.
I thought she did.
No, she's a Pittsburgh girl.
Oh, what are you seeing out of Casey? What does he bring to the table? What's his skill set?
Yeah, so we're kind of hoping Casey can turn into a guy like Regis Velez, kind of be the big body wide receiver that will have to do some of the dirty work for us. Has to be a reliable pass catcher, which obviously Regis had a few touchdowns his junior year for us, really good hands. But Casey's got great hands. We joke with Casey all the time, which is okay. I wasn't the fastest receiver either, so we joke. He's not the fastest guy we have, but he's finding a way to get open because he's really taking coaching. All right, Casey, you're not going to just outrun somebody, so you have to be exactly right with your hands, with your footwork. And so he's made some plays for us this spring, which I'm really happy for him because he's another kid that hasn't said crap, works his butt off, just what we want in our room, So he epitomizes what Navy wide receivers are, and we take an opportunity. Some guys got hurt, and he took an opportunity and ran with it.
All right, thanks.
Yep.
I've got one. Everyone, when talking about the wide receivers and production, they talk about catches, but how about blocking? How did you guys do last year blocking? I'm assuming they were productive there because the wide receivers always have been at Navy.
Yeah, Scott. We were really, really productive. We had different packages where we brought Regis in to do some of our goal line, short yardage stuff. We used Turner Step, who was a converted linebacker, and he was really, really good. He didn't play a ton, but when he was in there, he made an impact. but we probably graded out and as good as we ever had blocking. Because the thing that people don't realize about Nathan Kent is a really, really good blocking receiver. And really, to be a good blocking receiver, you got to be selfless. You just got to want to do it. It's not that hard, but you got to really want to do it. And Nathan Kent was really, really good out there blocking for us.
Thank you, Scott Wyckoff.
Coach, how will the development as it comes along now with the tight ends, with that new position, open up more opportunities for your receivers as the tight ends develop?
Yeah, so I think our tight ends are having a really good spring. Coach Williams done a great job with those guys. We have some talented young kids. We have some older kids that are stepping up. And that's huge. When you have other guys that can make plays throwing the ball, it opens up the offense for everybody. Now defenses can't zero in on, which I'm sure they're going to try to do, zero in on 22. 22 made a lot of plays. Eli and Chat and those two guys. So I think a lot of things are going to open up here moving forward for us, which is going to be great.
With a full year of Coach Cronick's offense under your belt, what is it that you like the best about this variation of the option that he's brought to the Naval Academy?
Yes, I love what Coach Cronick's brought. So we still are able to get under center and run triple option, and he reemphasized that to the guys today. This isn't going to work if we can't do that. But the stuff he's brought in the RPO game, the passing game, the stuff that he's done in the past is what's giving people fits. We're getting receivers running wide open on all kinds of different things. We have an intermediate pass game that we really didn't have in the past. So he's opened my eyes, I know, being an option guy, and we were damn good winning a lot of football games. But it's a lot more exciting, some of the stuff we're doing. And I know as a defensive coordinator, we talk to some of these defensive coordinators after the games, and they're like, holy cow, trying to prepare for you guys is a nightmare with all the stuff we do.
How important is it for you and Coach Green not only to be coaches on the field, but also to be mentors, having gone through what each of these players that you coach have gone through, kind of that uniqueness that you bring?
Yeah, Coach Green's one of a kind. Obviously, he's a great football coach, but he's an even better man. He did his 20 years in the Marine Corps. So all these players look up to Coach Green, and they always have. But it's key to have a couple guys on staff that played here that can relate to what the guys are going through. You tell some of the coaches, you understand what they're going through here with 6-week tests or 12-week tests or what this boot camp stuff is that they're actually going through with it. But Coach Green is unbelievable. One of the greatest men that I know.
Thank you.
Yep.
Flags.
You kind of alluded to this earlier, but when we talked to Coach Cronick, he's mentioned that he would love to throw the ball more to the split ends, and he said that he's had 1,000-yard receivers at that position in previous stops of his career. Are you seeing how this offense could really, a wide receiver could blow up and be very, very productive if they are trusted enough to get the ball thrown their way?
Absolutely, because at the end of the day, we're still going to get one-on-one coverage because we can run the football. So you're still going to get safeties in the box, 8-man boxes where if you beat your guy, you can take a slant and it can go 80 yards. And that's not going to change. So once we gain that trust with the quarterbacks, with Coach Cronick, we continue to make plays. Obviously, we'll continue to work our craft. I think you could see some really, really big numbers in the future from the wide receiver position.
So you talked about being a little bit thin in the spring. Do you have a good amount of receivers coming from the prep school or direct that is going to reload the position, if you will?
Yeah, we got some kids coming in, and then obviously Nathan Kent being available to us will be a big thing. And I still got a few more guys I need to get a better evaluation on this spring. So I'm really happy that Josh Garion is coming back out to practice. Hopefully Kendall will come back out. So we got a few more bodies here in the building right now. They just need to get out there and get the reps. They need to get healthy. If you're not healthy, you're not available, you can't help us. So they're working hard to get back and get to 100%.
Coach Newberry has talked about having certain measurables in recruiting. They're looking for a certain type of body type or skill set in recruiting now at each position. Anything in particular with wide receiver that you're targeting as a type of player you'd like to recruit?
Yeah, we're obviously back in the day, we wanted the guys to be 6'3", 6'4", 210 pounds, because they were going to be forced into a lot, blocking linebackers, D linemen, different things. So now we're switching to where we want just more natural receivers, more pass catchers. Now they have to be tough. Still, we're not going to coach some of these receivers that are out there, but it's different. The kid doesn't have to be 6'3" anymore. We'll take a 6'1" kid that can fly, that can take the top off the defense, that can catch a slant and go 90 with it. And that's what we're looking for right now. That's the prototype.
So you talked about, Hutch developing. Has he been making plays in the spring? Are you seeing him get open, make catches, run, yards after the catch, that type of thing?
Yeah, he's done some good things. He's missed on a couple where we just missed him on overthrows, certain things, but his improvement from last year at this time to this time is astronomical. And I still think the crazy thing is, but I still think he's got a long way to go, which is great because, right now, if we had to play a game, he would start, and I feel like he'd be a good player for us. I don't know if he'd be a great player yet, but I think he can get there. I think the sky's the limit for the kid. The kid's really talented. So day by day, if he just gets a little bit better every single day between now and the season, I think when the season gets here, he's going to have a chance to be really good.
So does Nathan spend any time just catching passes from the quarterbacks, or is that not really anything he has time to do with track and field? Is that something that's not going to begin until the summer months?
Yeah, unfortunately, right now with the new class schedule and some of the things they got, it's really, really hard to get him out there with the quarterbacks. He'll do a little bit of stuff that he can do on his own as much as he can. He's just so engulfed right now with the track stuff, with the stuff he's trying to do with the SEAL community. So he hasn't been able to do as much as I would like him to do.
All right, thanks, Mick.
Yes, sir.
Just a reminder, there is no Olympic trials this year, so we will get Nathan earlier this year than we did last year.
Well,
he's participating in Olympic trials.
He's got some other stuff going on.
Does he? Okay.
So unfortunately,
I tried.
I know. I was hoping, but he shared some news with me the other day. He's got other stuff going on with the special warfare community. I don't know if I can talk about it, I guess.
All right. Anything else for Coach Yokitis? All right. Thanks a lot, Mick.
Yep. All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a good day.
Thanks, everyone.
Okay. See you now.